Here it is. Hello everyone, I'm Niko and I'm going to present you NextGraph today that I developed in the last 2 years with the support of NLNet Foundation and the NGI Fund of the European Commission. So what is NextGraph? It's a protocol for encrypted sync of data, and on top of that it's a framework for developing collaborative applications. It's a work in progress. The protocol is ready, and the framework is coming this year. You will ask me maybe why another protocol, why another framework, like if there were not enough of them already, right? First of all, NextGraph is local first. So you will hear about local first more and more. You just heard it about that 5 minutes ago. It's a hot topic, but what is it? Maybe you remember that we used to have offline only software, no internet, or at best you would exchange files by email, and now everything is in the cloud. As you well know, the cloud does not work offline, right? Today we're talking about local first apps which can work online but also offline, and when connectivity is restored, they synchronize without conflict. As a bonus, you also get real-time collaboration for free. How can it merge without conflict? This is because we use CRDTs. You heard of it just before. If you don't know what it is, you go to crdt.tech or lofi.so, they're very good websites. I don't have time to explain it now. But basically, there are data types, meaning there's special format or encoding of your data. We encode each update separately. And that helps us to merge automatically the concurrent edits, right? That's the problem when you edit concurrently the same thing. When we are back online, we sync the diffs, and it just works. So the difference with other sync protocols is that NextGraph is end-to-end encrypted, which you know what it means, right? We believe that privacy is important. I'm sure you agree. Users should own their data. And how to own your data? The only way to enforce that is by encrypting everything end-to-end. Our protocol has been designed from the beginning to securely transport any kind of CRDT, and it could transport, by example, Ether, what was it that you just presented? For now, we support the CRDTs of AutoMerge. That's why I'm saying it, because it's based on AutoMerge, also what he did. YGS, RDF, and soon LoRa. And soon we could add more also. The RDF CRDT has been developed in-house because there wasn't any available. The 3 other libs, they are the most known CRDTs. It's about JSON, rich text, Markdown, and plain text. And with that, you can do already a lot of things. By the way, if you have an app, and if you're already using one of those, you can port it to NextGraph, and you will immediately benefit from encrypted sync. We also have immutable binary files because it's useful, right? The attachments, the files, the images, the videos. And we added a mechanism of blocks, like in Notion, so that the users can combine within a single document many CRDTs and types inside one document. Also, developers can choose which CRDT is the best fit for their data model. And this is where it might become interesting. It's because we have a framework. Any app can become collaborative, local first, and end-to-end encrypted at low cost. We are providing convenient APIs for web app developers who are using reactive stores like those, where they can bind their data to some GUI components, right? That's how it works. We have the GUIs, we have the data, and we bind. We give you that, a reactive store. We have bindings for TypeScript, Node.js, and Rust, because NextGraph is coded in Rust and compiled to WASM. And we will add later some support for all this, if we can. Using our framework, we already developed an app for mobile, desktop, and web app, so that end users can manage their wallet, install and launch other apps, store, access, and search their data locally, and while keeping it encrypted at rest. They can grant and revoke access their data to other apps. They can grant access to their data to other apps, and share documents in their social network. Users can organize their documents into public, protected, and private stores, and create new stores for teams and groups. We believe that in the context of AI scrapping, online harassment, and pervasive surveillance, more private social networks are needed, meaning social profiles and posts should probably be protected by permissions and encryption, and your family vacation pictures should probably not end up in your public profile anyway. NextGraph can help with making secure, encrypted, and local-first social apps. Generally, with our SDK, the developer only deals with local data and subscribe to the data for the updates, and it's synchronized in the background. No more remote API calls, fetch or post, like here. It's not a client-server anymore, which makes it more decentralized than a web service, or even than a federated system. Don't get me wrong, the Fediverse is great, and we're happy it's here, but we want to overcome its limitations. Like, by example, the VPS you need to rent, the sysadmin you need to trust, who will install and manage and upgrade many web apps, often incompatible one with another. The domain names that need to be paid every year and bring some portability issues when we move our data to another service providers. We have problems with the portability here. So running FOSS services can be complicated and not risk-free neither. This is a picture of a French data center that burned down a few years ago. We want to be more decentralized and resilient than that. We want to have more zero single point of failure. So we got rid of domain names. I mean, they are not mandatory for the protocol to work. Just IP is enough. Does that mean that we are peer-to-peer? Not really. Not exactly, because peer-to-peer has a major problem. What to do when you want to sync your data and you can't find any other peer online at the exact same moment than you. So as a consequence, we still have a servers, but we call them brokers. Our network is organized in a two-tier topology, which means the peers talk to a broker, and the brokers talk to each other. The brokers run 24/7 and only store and forward encrypted blocks of data. They are simple to set up and run. They can run anywhere as long as they have a public IP, and we want to see them running everywhere, especially at home and in your office. Basically what we call at the edge of the network. There is a level of, that's the level of decentralization that we want, and data locality that we want. I can control where my data is stored, and I can easily add automated encrypted backups by configuring more brokers in my account. Because we developed this new protocol that does not need domain names, we automatically came to use DIDs, as identifiers for both the users and data. Each document has its own DID, and regardless of where the data is stored, the DID is stable and remains always the same. I can share the DID link with other users and collaborate with them on any document. Those URIs represent permissions that we call cryptographic permissions, because they are, if you have the key, or the link is the same, you can read, you can subscribe, or you can maybe edit. But if you don't have it, you can do nothing. Of course, we thought about backward compatibility to HTTP. You can always run a web service in Node.js, for example, to serve your data if you need to. And there is also a web application for end users. Thanks to our collaboration with ActivityPods project here in the room, we are compatible with ActivityPub and Solid. And by the way, they are presenting tomorrow in the Bird of a Feather Strike A on social web at 12 o'clock tomorrow. Now that I mentioned Solid, in fact, RDF, linked data, semantic web, it's all synonyms, are the heart of our platform. As I said earlier, we have developed a CRDT for RDF because we believe that linked data is great for interoperability. RDF is used by Wikipedia, many industries, in academia, as knowledge bases, social graphs, any graph. We know that all popular social networks are internally based on graphs, also Netflix, like Meta and all of that, right? With NextGraph, every document can be linked to any other document or to a social account. But in fact, RDF can store any data. You can use it as a database. And you can query easily without joins and foreign keys. I will skip this part about Sparkle. The more features also I will skip it because I'm running out of time. We believe our framework is a good foundation for implementing any social or content-oriented app with local-first end-to-end privacy and decentralization at heart, including for data or productivity tools, and anything you want, really. It's to make apps. With the current entitification of platforms and big tech dominance that feels like never-ending, it's about time to regain control on our digital lives. To achieve that, we believe that more cooperation with between FOSS projects and integration of the many existing solutions is the key towards massive adoption. We propose NextGraph as an open ecosystem and stack based on standards for everybody to enjoy and build upon. If you feel it's cool, join the adventure, contact us, talk to me today, and stay tuned for the beta release. Thank you. And I have extra stickers, if you want.
Thanks a lot, Niko. We won't have time for questions, unfortunately. So we're going to prepare the next talk, which is actually not a talk, which is a panel.